Hey everybody, welcome back to Runaway Roses. On this episode of Future Mods, we're going to put on a
Stablecamper.
That's right, it's super cool, so stick around, check it out. First off, we want to show you what a Stablecamper system is. It's a really cool system for when you have a truck camper that is off your truck and on the ground. It helps keep it from swaying side to side and front to back, like most of you that have truck campers have experienced. So it's just one of those things that comes along with a truck camper. So Stablecamper has developed a system that holds it solid and keeps it from swaying, and they've done a fantastic job. All the materials are just top notch and it's really great. So let me show you what it does. I'll push on the camper and you can see how it'll sway side to side, and let's check that out and then we'll put the system on and see how it doesn't. So I'm just gonna give the truck camper a little shove here. And you can see the sway, it sways back and forth, you know, an inch or two or something like that. So we'll go ahead and put the system on. It's super easy, super quick, and let's see what it does. So the front arms just swing out. You just adjust them by turning the tube, and it just swings around. They got nice holders there for them. For when you're traveling, it holds it in the front. And this one I got adjusted a little bit more than the other one. Just drop that in. I'm gonna get them all in place, and then we'll snug them up. On the side tubes fold up. Some of the models for some of the other truck campers come with a solid tube, I believe. But for our particular model, for the Northern Lite, it comes with a foldable side tube that comes with a case to put it in to store it down below in the basement area. So that's super easy. Fold it, put the pan in. Drop it in there on the side. Just take the handle off. Stick the threaded end through the camper tie down. Tighten it up. It helps to make sure that the tube is a little loose on this model anyhow, to help get the handle good and tight. And then we can go back and tighten it all up, and let's go put the other side in. So here's the driver's side. It's the same as the passenger side. Drop the end in. And if you need to adjust it, depending on the ground that you're on and how level it is, you can adjust it like that. Just spin it in and out. So I need to go another couple turns here and push that through. Put the handle on, tighten it up. This is a really great system. It's super easy. Anybody can do it. And then snug up the tube. Make sure it's good and tight. I'm just gonna give it all a It's really that easy. It all stays in place. Some truck camper models, I did believe, come with a system where you can store it up underneath, but this one, we just fold the side tubes up, so that should be good. Let's give it a double check here. And when we come back, we're gonna give it a little push, and it's way better, way better. It's so much better. And we could probably even keep snugging these up if we want, but you don't want to over tighten them, just want to snug them up. So there it is. That is the Stablecamper system. It is super easy. Anybody can put it on, anybody can use it, and in just a matter of minutes, you can have your camper good and stable. Now that you've seen what a Stablecamper system is and what it does, if you want to stick around, you can see how to install it, at least on a Northern Lite. Now, Stablecamper, they have a system for a lot of different truck camper, whether it be a Lance, a Host, a Cirrus, and several others. So if you want to go to Stablecamper.com, you can check them out there to see if they have one for your camper. They also make many other accessories, so you can check those out as well. So stick around, and we're going to do the install. For those of you who have truck campers, you're probably already familiar with the sway. And for those of you who don't, and you may be looking at buying a truck camper in the future, do be aware that the campers do have some movement in them because they are on 4 legs when they're just off the truck. So there's a good bit of sway. If you push on it, you can see a good bit of movement there. So Carl and I, we've been trying to figure out a solution to eliminate this sway, make it more steady when the camper is off the truck. So the past many times that we've been camping, I've tried a bunch of different things, and here's a couple things that I've done, and they kind of worked, but not really. So the Stablecamper that we're going to put on is a much better solution. What I did, I had a couple of stands here, and what I was doing is I was putting a board on here, and of course putting it underneath the camper, and then I could tighten it up and just kind of snug it down. Or I even used some jack stands and did the same thing there. Put a board on it, stuck it under there, and kind of lowered the camper on it. But that's not really a good thing to do because you can't really control how much weight you're putting onto the stands and the board because you don't want to put too much on there because you might damage it. So we started trying to look around, try to find a good solution to take the sway out, sturdy it up, make it feel good and solid. So after a bunch of searching on the internet, we found the Stablecamper, and we are super excited, and we're like we have to get one of those and put that on because it looks like it's going to work great. And so we're going to try it out. So we're going to go ahead and get started on putting it on, and we'll show you how it turns out afterwards, and hopefully it takes the sway out of it, and we're going to be good to go when we go camping. So let's get to it.
We're really looking forward to installing the Stablecamper on our camper and stabling it up. And so I'm going to unbox it now. I'm going to make sure that we have all the parts in here per the instructions, and then we're going to get to it.
This thing comes really well wrapped. They did a good job on the packaging of it. Here's everything we got in the box. We got the 2 long side tube assemblies there, and those actually fold, which is really cool. They're pre-hinged, so they're actually mounted together already. So those are cool and ready to go. And then you got the front assembly, tube assemblies there as well. And then you also get some the clamps that go around the legs, and that's where the ball ends clip down into there. And then these are the hangers for the tube assemblies that stable it all up, and there's a storage bag for the longer tubes. And we did just print off the instructions. They have all their instructions online for no matter what type of camper you got that they make this system for, so you can get it from them online. Carl and I are not professionals with this truck or Stablecamper system, so we're just basically the average Joe. So we're going to put it on, and we're just going to see how it goes. We're going to follow the instructions the best we can. So if we can do it.
They're really good instructions, by the way.
They look like they're very thorough, and it looks pretty easy. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go ahead and give it a shot, and if we can do it, y'all can do it. So let's try it out. What's step 1?
Well, you have to read the notes first just to make sure that you do everything the way you're supposed to. So
Okay.
I have to read these first, and then we'll.
Okay. I think it did say level the camper.
Yeah,
so
that was the first.
There, we're good.
Check.
Check.
Yeah, before you begin installation, remove camper from truck and make sure it's level.
Yeah.
Check.
We're set.
Do not drill into the fiberglass of the camper.
Ooh, yes, very important. Do not drill into the fiberglass. This is a non-drill application
Yes.
into the fiberglass. Now you do have to drill into the little plastic thing down there, but that's no big deal.
Yeah.
So step one is we're going to put the clamps on the legs. These are the clamps that the bars connect to. So they just have an Allen wrench. Pretty smart setup. 2 Allen bolts here. Take it apart, put it around the leg, clamp it back on, tighten it up. Pretty smart. I guess you could kind of put it wherever you want, really, but I guess down around the base of it would probably be the strongest.
Isn't that what the instructions?
I was just going to say I'll double check on the instructions and say exactly where they say to place it, but let me just snug it up for now, and then we'll get the proper placement of the clamp. With these clamps, after they're on and in the right place, I still need to double check that. But these little swivel things here, that's where the ball mount for these legs go into. They can just clip down in there, and that's how that mounts. So you want to make sure one is facing inside and one is facing down towards the end of the camper, so it can clip on to the camper tie down. So that's how those go. Go put the other one on. It says do not drill into fiberglass exterior of the camper. Again, don't do it. We're not going to do it. It says replace the bottom screw shown in the picture with a supplied number 10 2-inch screw. So what we have to do here is, in the picture, we got to replace this screw down here. So our camper should have a bump stop that would be on right here, but when we got the camper it was already missing, so we don't have that bump stop. But this system is designed to work with that bump stop in place. So what I got to do is go get my drill and pull that screw out and put the new one in. What I think the difference is, why they want the screw replaced, is because the original one has a round head and it kind of sticks out up over the edge of the plastic piece, and the one that you're going to replace it with is a beveled flat on top head, so that way when they put it in it'll be recessed and the screw's not going to be sticking out. So let's do that. We got to change the screw head type. The camper had the original square style, and this is the Phillips head bit, so put that back in, and there it is, nice and flush. We're good to go. Let's go to the next step. So the next step is to hold this up here, and now that we put in that new screw, it's nice and flat, so this will sit nice and flush. But the next step is to get a 9/64 drill bit, and we're going to drill 2 screws in here and then apply the 2 screws in the hardware bag that comes with the Stablecamper system. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Before I start drilling, what I'm going to do is I got a little piece of painter's tape, and I'm going to put it on the drill bit. I'm just going to basically line it up, stick it on the drill bit, and then that way I know how far I can drill down. So just to make sure that I don't go into the fiberglass, just a little safety measure. So the end on this rod system right here, it just screws on and off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it off at the moment, so that way I can line it up nice and easy without having to hold this thing up, and then line it up and give it 2 pilot holes, So there we go. Then I can go ahead and go a little bit deeper with them. Making sure that I don't go too deep. Pulling it back out there. So it goes through this plastic piece, but not into the fiberglass. So we're good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and get the screws. I'm gonna screw this on. So now that I've gotten those 2 screws in, I always want to be sure that I don't over tighten them with my screw gun. So I'm going to go get my Phillips head and just snug them up by hand. Make sure I don't strip them out. So now that we have this front tube assembly on, I can see that I need to raise this up. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen it up and raise it up a bit. And then just get that one attached temporarily. We got the front passenger side done, so we're going to go ahead and tackle the driver's side in the front, and then we're going to move on to the rear ones.
So what's next?
So the next step is alcohol pads. Got to get the alcohol pad. I'm going to clean this area, and then this has the 3M VHB tape, which is super strong apparently. So you got to make sure you get this in the right place. But you want to make sure that this tube is not in any way below the camper, because then that could really damage the camper and the Stablecamper system and all that. So I want to make sure it's up and out of the way. Everything's good and clear. And I'm just going to clean this area, put this mount on here, and then we're going to put another mount up here after I swing the arm around, and we'll get the tube positions set, and that way these front tubes will just have a nice place to store out of the way. You can clean your hands too. Make sure you don't get the coronavirus while we're at it. Well, we're good to go. Let that dry for a minute and then we'll stick it on. Let me show you their machine work that they've done on all of their equipment is just really top notch. I'm not an expert on this, but you can just tell by looking at it, it is just well made. I mean, this whole piece up here, it looks like it's machined out of one piece, and then they attach this bracket to it, and it just feels nice in your hand. It's metal. This is metal, and I don't know what this is here, but
it's metal too.
I think it's some sort of maybe some sort of composite type material. Kind of what it feels like, but it's just well made. The whole system looks well made.
Yeah, it does.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stick this on. Peeled the backside off, and super sticky stuff. So it's got to do it on the first try. Make sure you get the tube out of the way and in the right position.
Is that up far enough?
Yep. I'm just going to give it a moment before I bother putting the tube on there, and so that'll just kind of set up there like that, but just kind of let it stick there and dry.
Show how that turns around.
And this will actually rotate a little bit, so that way you can get it at just the right angle. So they thought everything. Good job, Stablecamper. You were ahead of the game there. What I'm going to do, just out of precaution to make sure that I get this in just the right spot is I'm going to hold this up here. See, this one I put over to the right of the center line. We have a center line on our camper, so could have put it right there in the center, which is kind of what they show in the instructions, but I kind of wanted it out of the way. So on this one, I'm going to basically put it in line with the center of the camper. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this painter's tape and just kind of help me get it aligned, and then that way I can move it out of the way. I'm just going to kind of mark my spot with it, so that way when I pull the sticky back off of this clamp here, so that way when I take it down, pull it off, put it right back up, I know where it goes. All right, got the sticky part off the back, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in place here. Get it right where I want it. Nice and square. And then this thing we can rotate again. Just kind of push on it real good. Let the sticky tape stick real well, let it set in. Now we can pull the painter's tape off. And voila, there we go. You can rotate that if you want, get it set. Nice. It's an awesome system. Tucked up and out of the way. And the front's ready to go camping, but we still got to put on the rear legs. So let's get to that.
After a hard day of filming, we're gonna go get some pizza after this. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. So the next thing I'm getting ready to do is to put the side tube on. The first thing you do is that you put the cotter pin in the hinge like this. Well, you lay it up like that, and then you put the cotter pin in. It's a little tight to put the cotter pin in, but that's a good thing, according to Todd, so that it makes it more stable.
Yeah,
So.
nice and snug and keeps
Yep.
it stiff.
You have to be really careful with this and not hit your camper too, because I almost did that a while ago. And then the next thing you do is you take the socket on the end and you put it in the socket down there like that. And then once that's in, you have to make sure that this is lined up here, and to do that, you just twist it out like that. I think that's probably good. Take this off like that. Oh, a little bit more. Let's see. There we go. And then tighten that on. This is a little bit challenging because it's close to the top there.
Close quarters there, huh?
Yeah,
All right.
but you snug it up like that. Oh yeah.
Snug the tube up.
Yeah, so once you get this snugged up, yeah, you go out to tighten this up, I think. Okay, I think that's good. One thing we learned during installation is that when the tube is loose, whenever there's no tension in it, it's easier to tighten this little knob, so that's just a little handy tip. Looks like we got a stable camper here. Let me push on it and see. What do you think?
So there it is. That's our future mod for this episode, the Stablecamper. So now you know what it is, how to install it, and if you're not comfortable with it installing it yourself, Stablecamper has many approved dealerships around the country that can install it for you, such as D&H, Princess Craft, Truck Camper Warehouse, and several others. So You can look them up online, stablecamper.com.
Yeah, and
check that out.
all of them are on their website. So, you know, they have, I don't know, like 15 or so. I can't remember exactly how many, but.
Yeah, they got a lot of other products on there as well, for truck campers and some for not necessarily for truck campers, for some, you know, whatever you want to use it for. So
yeah, and
check that out.
I'm thinking about maybe we might need to get some of the ladder mounts, but we
some
might
cool clamps they got. They should check those out. Yeah, like rubber, and they're really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so. We did get a chance to meet the owners of Stablecamper a few months ago, Jared and Candace.
Yeah, they came down to Florida when we were there for our rally that we went to, and they were at the RV show in Tampa, and, you know, Candace said, oh, we'll just swing by and meet you guys. So they came by. We had a time to chat with them about the Stablecamper because we had seen it. We wanted to know more about it, and that, you know, that was really nice of them to swing by and talk to us.
Yeah, talk to us and, you know, let us know, you know, what it was, how it worked, and that whole thing. And so we're really looking forward to using it over the next, you know, several months. And, you know, once we get some good camping trips in and give it some time to use it, we're going to do a review on the Stablecamper system down the road. So we'll let you know about that. And as far as our future mods go, we do have many others in mind, but our next future mod that we're going to try to tackle is
window tinting for these windows, because in this camper these windows are the plexiglass, and it's kind of bright, you know, shining in.
Yeah. And
they also have a tendency to get scuffed up, so we're thinking that this window tint we're thinking about putting on is going to help with that.
Yeah, not only will it darken it, but it will also help protect it from, you know, branch scratches and that sort of thing. And but we'll see how it goes. We've never put it on, so we're going to try to tackle that and see what happens. So until then, we'll see you next time on Runaway Roses. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.